Hey everyone, welcome back to 12A's The Best NA. In this video, we are going to have a look and see what's left of the Victorian Railway's narrow-gauge Beech Forest, or Crows, or Weeparana line. Without further ado, let's have a quick look at the history of this line. The Beech Forest line was one of four 2-foot 6-inch gauge narrow-gauge lines, built for the VR as an experiment to see if utilizing narrow-gauge lines was effective. It was the third of the four to be opened, opening to Beech Forest in 1902. After much consideration, the line was extended to Crows in 1911. Crows became the southernmost railway terminus in mainland Australia. The extension to Crows meant a complete rework of Beech Forest Station. New features in the yard included a scissor crossover so trains from either Crows or Colac could enter the platform or yard, and the addition of a balloon loop to seamlessly turn trains to face the Colac way to continue to Crows. The line's main product was firewood and potatoes, as there were many sawmills and farming areas near the line. Rough and lightly laid timber tramways descended on most stations, bringing goods to load onto the trains, of which there were sometimes up to 7 per day. In 1926, G41, a Garrett locomotive built by Bayer Peacock & Co., entered service on the line, and it began to handle a majority of the trains. The 1930s financial depression hit the line hard, resulting in major service and staff cuts. The line never recovered from this, and it slowly deteriorated. In December 1954, the line to Crows beyond Ferguson closed. In January 1955, it was reopened to Weeparana. A second Garrett loco, G42, arrived from the closed Walhalla line to assist G41 in 1955. For the line's last few years, one train per week operated from Colac to Weeparana and back on Wednesdays, usually only operated by G41 or G42. In 1959, the first of 16 Kaunjana special excursion trains operated on the line, using NBH carriages from Puffing Billy, which was closed at the time. These trains were very popular, and G41, G42, and 14A were all used on the specials. In 1960, 41 was taken out of service and dumped in a siding at Colac. Its parts were used to keep G42 running. The line struggled on until 1962. The last train on the line was hauled by G42, using NQR wagons fitted with seats and tarpaulin roofs. It ran from Colac to Beech Forest and back. Less than 10 days later, G42 was lifted from Beachy rails for the final time and taken into storage at Newport Workshops. G42 was eventually purchased by the Puffing Billy Preservation Society, and after a long restoration process that took 2 decades, G42 returned to steam at Puffing Billy in 2004. The Beech Forest line was ripped up, but there are still remains. Let's look at what remains of the line through the Otways. At Colac, the narrow gauge yard is still evident, as next to the station, there is a big, empty gravel area where the yard once was. The alignment travels south through the town before reaching the site of Elaminate. Elaminate was a small halt and was used sparingly throughout its history. The alignment is surrounded by fences as the line continues its southward journey. The line winds its way up to the site of Tulo Station, which was another smaller station on the line. The alignment snakes its way through the valley. The gradient along this section is around 1 in 40. Next, we roll through Coram, before the line gets to Barongarook. Barongarook was the first major station on the line, having a 3-road yard and a proper platform. Out of Barongarook, we curve to the right, then pass through Burnham, and after Burnham comes Kawaran. Kawaran had a small loop siding and not much else. We roll down the grade through Lovat, and along here, the alignment is taken over by the main road. The trestle bridge across the Gellibrand River comes next. There are some remains strewn across the riverbank, and a modern girder bridge has been built on the site. After the bridge, we roll down into the busiest intermediate station on the line, Gellibrand. Gellibrand had a 4-road yard, a goods shed, and 2 water tanks, along with a small station building, which is the only thing that remains of the busy station. Out of Gellibrand, the alignment has been turned into a rail trail. The line climbs uphill into Benul, which has had its shelter and name board preserved as part of the rail trail. Next is Winba. Nothing remains of Winba. Then McDevitt, which was a popular shot for rail enthusiasts. McDevitt, like Benul, has had its shelter and nameboard preserved as part of the rail trail. The trail continues past nameboard-only Dinmont, which was positioned at the Dinmont Water Tower. The water tower was an important stop for trains to fill up with water before the last climb to Beech Forest. The halt still has its nameboard, and the water tower also still stands. After Dinmont, the line heads back into the forest, running through the site of nameboard-only Ditchley, of which nothing remains, before rounding the curve into Beech Forest. The main road into Beech Forest has been built over the alignment as it comes into the town, but the old station site is now a playground, and a replica station sign still stands. The balloon loop has also been preserved as a walking path. The line from Beech Forest to Crows was pulled up in the early 1960s, and not much remains except from the odd light embankment here and there. The line traveled through stations like Ferguson, Weeperona, and Wylangata. At Lavers Hill, a replica station sign stands on the side of the station. After Lavers Hill, the terminus of the line, Crows is next. Crows has had a section of lawn rebuilt, including the buffers at the end of the line. An NQR wagon was also placed on the section of track. This was called the Crows Buffer Stop Monument, and is a fitting memorial of the southernmost terminus in mainland Australia, and the terminus of a line that had such character. So, there you have it, the remnants in history of the Beech Forest line. Personally, besides 12AG42 is my favorite VR locomotive. It's currently under overhaul at Puffing Billy, but I hope it'll be back in service soon. Anywho, like, subscribe, and remember 12A is the best NA. See ya.